hurdles that are still present when it comes to Jananayakan's release. We have Mani with us. He's a super fan of Vijay. Sir, what is your expectation today? Are you disappointed? Are you optimistic?
Definitely it's a disappointment, madam, because it's going to be a last movie for a very big star. It's not even a star, it's an emotion. And it's a birthday today for me, and I was completely planned for a big party and celebrate along with my brother. He's like a brother in his emotion. And
Vijay is your brother.
Yeah, Vijay sir is definitely an emotion to us, and is more than a brother for us. And somebody is going to leave such a huge stardom and coming for people, we need to respect him. And I don't think media stream is like no need of politics. It's a media stream, it's one of the streams where we convey to people like the goodness. And this is ridiculous, madam.
So people are quite disappointed, and I also have a couple here, Vedika, and this is, Ninga vande movie paatka vandirkingla. Are you sad? Are you happy? Are you hopeful that the movie will be released soon?
தளபதி படம் வரன்ட்டு தான் இன்றைக்கி வந்தோம். ஆனால் தளபதி படம் இன்றைக்கி வந்து வராதுன்னு சொன்னதுனால ரொம்ப கஷ்டமாக தான் இருக்குது.
Are you also a fan?
ஆமாம் மேம், சின்ன வயசுலேருந்து ஃபேன்.
Okay. So both of them are fans, husband and wife, and they came all the way to watch the movie, hoping that it would be released today. But yes, that was never the expectation. But remember that legal hurdles are still there, Vedika, and the hearing is expected to take place today. And this is after the CBFC, challenged the single judge order in the Madras High Court. It has filed a writ appeal, and that hearing is expected to take place today or next week. Remember, there are also holidays on account of Makar Sankranti, so very few days, windows left for the release of Jananayakan. And all of this, even as we wait for Parasakti's release, clearance has still not come from the CBFC. So two big movies, the last Pongal before Tamil Nadu goes to polls for 2026. So politically sensitive fortnight for the state of Tamil Nadu, just a precursor for what is expected in the elections.
All right, do stay with me. Veera, coming back to you. After you, I'm going to go to Lata Srinivasan as well. But Veera, from what we've heard from the Madras High Court, two big takeaways of what the judges said. Entertaining such complaints, quote unquote, is a dangerous trend, and also goes on to say that the Madras High Court has noted that the complaint against Jananayakan appears to be an afterthought.
Order is a stinging one. The order is one that gives the producers of Jananayakan a decisive legal victory in the first round. But Vedika, what's the point of it all if you can't get the film out for the weekend as planned? Because if it's going to be a protracted legal battle, the order makes no difference for the producers. More importantly, Vedika, and I want Vasudha to weigh in as well, that remember there is a summons for Vijay to appear before the CBI in the Stampede case on the 12th of January. That's also before Pongal. So multiple things at play. Will he go to Delhi? How this is going to play out in the political field? I spoke to TVK leaders who say, we want to wait for the courts to give a final order. We will not react to this issue because the matter is sub judice. I think there's a lot of silent calibrations that are playing out around this film. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. This is not the climax or the last act, though it's a strong order from the High Court single judge.
Veera, do stay with me. I also have Lata Srinivasan, consulting editor, entertainment, joining me on the phone line. Lata, let's call this a shot in the arm for Vijay and TVK for now. But how do you see this playing out in terms of the release of the movie?
I agree with what Veera said, because there are a lot of legal issues at stake. They have filed an appeal at the High Court, and if the ASG presents Justice Asha's order, and all the papers, then the case could get listed today. Right? It will get numbered and listed today, and it will come up for hearing today itself. Now, if that happens, even if that happens, based on what the High Court, decides, the earliest it can release would be Jan 14. They cannot release before that, because there are a lot of business considerations to take into place. Now, if the team decides to go to the... Hello? If the team decides... Yeah.
Go ahead, Lata.
Yeah. If the CBFC team again decides to appeal that order, then it will go to the Supreme Court. So the legal hurdles are many at this point, but it is a moral victory for the producer of Jananayakan and Jananayakan itself. And fans are quite happy about this. but they are just hoping that the Madras High Court gives a legal victory to the film.
All right, Lata, thanks for joining me on the phone line. Vasudha, coming to you, all eyes also on Parasakthi. The release is due, but there could be some cuts to that as well. What can you share on that with us?
Well, what I understand is that, Vedika, there is politics and there's optics as well. And if you look at social media and also if you hear conversations here, they're all blaming CBFC for trying to stall a movie's release. And this is not just going to be the case with Jananayakan, even with Parasakthi, which is awaiting clearance. And Parasakthi is based on anti-Hindi riots. It's based on Tamil sentiment. So there is optics to this as well. While CBFC's processes are important, remember that the High Court also lashed out against CBFC and said that the complaint seemed to have been an afterthought here. Like Lata and Veera have also been pointing out that if it's a protracted battle, then both these movies do lose out on the Pongal weekend celebrations and festivities, and it is huge in Tamil Nadu. It's a very important Pongal just before elections, and usually Pongal is the most important festival for Tamil Nadu. So there's a lot of conversation around this. Right now there is disappointment, there is optimism, but all in the veil of a little bit of anger that why this movie specifically Jananayakan is not getting released, because remember today was the day it was to be released. So while cuts have been asked of the producers, we'll have to wait and see what kind of legal challenges the movie continues to face, because CBFC decidedly is not letting this go, and the hearing is expected to take place today afternoon.
Veera, what this has also thrown up are the possibilities ahead of the state polls when it comes to alliances. You had the Congress come out and back Vijay and his party over the release of this movie. What's interesting is you and I were speaking about how TVK has maintained this silence ahead of the hearing. Do you think it's played in their favor in terms of the sympathy vote garnering for them at this point, or do you think it's a tactical move by them?
Well, politically, it has definitely bolstered the narrative that Vijay is under attack. It makes the BJP looks like the villain and the central government looks like the villain.
And the censor board.
In this entire piece. The censor board, because when you say, while it's an independent body, the certification body, Vedika, it will be seen as something that's in the prism of the BJP from a political point of view. So it's Vasudha was pointing about there's politics, there's optics, but remember there's also money involved. 500 crores, 600 crores. These are huge sums of money that you're talking about, and this will affect business. Remember, you're talking of 900 screens which may not have a movie to run in Pongal. And this is the big festival season. So this is not good for the industry. It's great for Vijay's political optics of being under target. How this allows in terms of political alignment, where the Congress is fishing in troubled waters, is the BJP fishing in troubled waters, how this is going to play out is anybody's guess. But at the moment, the politics, the optics dominating, but what's perhaps most important for the producers is the money and the business itself on a Pongal weekend.
And of course, that's the worry, isn't it, Lata, for the producers? Huge stakes involved. Pongal weekend may not have 2 movies being released. A huge worry for the industry. Lata?
Point out it's not just... Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, it's not just the producers' livelihood which is at stake. It's also the exhibitors, the theatres and the distributors. See, a big film is what brings in distributors money so that they can run smaller films through the rest of the year. If they don't make good business during Pongal, then it affects the livelihoods of the theatres itself. Can theatres exist? They are, running because of the big films that release through the year. So it'll have a huge impact on the Tamil film industry and the film business itself in Tamil Nadu if the 2 movies don't release. And that is really worrying for the film industry at this point.
All right, Vasudha is still with us. She's outside a movie theatre as well. We have Veera Raghav joining us on the big picture of it all. Vasudha, coming to you, ever since the Madras High Court has come out with this decision, which of course is now going to be heard again because the censor board is also challenging it, how are the people on the ground reacting? Because like you've just spoken to some of them, they were very, very excited to watch the movie released today itself. It's been a disappointment for many, but who are they really blaming, squarely blaming for the delay in the release of Vijay's last movie?
Well, Vedika, like yesterday, Rata and Veera were pointing out, till yesterday, the people of Tamil Nadu did not really have anybody to blame. But today, the fact that CBFC challenged the Madras High Court's verdict, and it has basically filed an appeal against it, and it wants a hearing, an urgent hearing of the writ appeal. Now I do hear those noises saying that, asking why is the CBFC not wanting this movie to be released. And remember that there have been talks about BJP also wanting TVK to be on its side. So those speculations are playing out. And these are just speculations because we don't really know what is happening. We know that on the political front, AIDMK, BJP are together, and the PMK has also allied with them now. And then there is this talk about a grander alliance being put in place before Pongal. But these two movies are also set to be released during the Pongal weekend. So all three alliances, all three parties are politically looking forward to, boosting their presence here, which is why now I do talk about, I do see a sense of disappointment and anger amongst people asking this question as to why is the centre stopping this movie of our Talapati, that is specifically coming from Vijay's fans. With regard to Parasakthi, the Parasakthi is backed by DMK. It doesn't still have a clearance. It is supposed to get released tomorrow. It's based on anti-Hindi agitation and also Tamil sentiment. And if that movie also doesn't find a certificate by the end of today, I think this is going to politically heat up in the state of Tamil Nadu.
And Veera, that brings me to the big question here again. Politics, actors and movies in the state of Tamil Nadu all go together in a way, and a lot of alliance talk, a lot of speculation also emerges from this industry.
Well, politics, actors, cinema and emotion, Vedika, most importantly. Let's not touch emotion. The emotion is the one that's the cord between politics, actors, and cinema in Tamil Nadu politics. And I think that emotion is enormous when a particular hero or a Tamil sentiment is under target. A movie becoming a target is something that's an enormous political narrative. Not today, way back in the day, when MGR's Ulagam Sutrum Valiban was tried to be stalled by some DMK forces, it had a major release, and that's one of the reasons why he was so powerful. He was always a powerful star, but that kind of adds to the narrative. All this is extremely important and closely watched and will play out in full blow as we head into TN 2026. How Parasakthi will get released, what kind of certification it gets will also be closely watched. But I believe, just to add to what Vasudha said, that the producers seem confident that they will get a certification. But there is a worry that if a Jananayagan doesn't release, but a Parasakthi releases, how does that play out in the political optics as well? So many calculations at play, Vasudha, Vedika.
All right, and let's bring Lata into this discussion as well. Once again, Lata, an important point raised by Veera there, that if Parasakthi gets released and not Vijay's movie, how do we even see that play out within the industry?
Well, it's a very dicey thing. I think the big fight was seen as between Parasakthi and Jananayagan at the Pongal box office. But if one film gets released and, if Parasakthi comes first and Jananayagan comes later, I still think that, Jananayagan will still have that fervor and frenzy. But what will happen to Parasakthi is that it will have to prove itself at the box office. And, there's more pressure on the director and actors and, the producer of Parasakthi, because they have to prove that they've made a fantastic film and that it's, going to resonate with the people if it becomes a solo release. So I think there's more pressure if they come out first. As far as Jananayagan goes, the sympathy of the people is strongly with Vijay. His fans will support him. They will make it a blockbuster no matter what. So I think even if the date changes, Jananayagan will still be a blockbuster, and he's going to gain more sympathy, and it will improve his chances at the 2026 elections as well.
All right, Lata, I want you to explain to our viewers what's at stake here when it comes to Vijay's movie. Is it crucial because this is his real swan song? Is it crucial because he then becomes a full-time politician? Or is it crucial because of two movies who would go head-to-head in the box office of the South?
See, in the history of Tamil cinema, and Tamil Nadu politics, movies have always been used to reach, ideological messaging to the hinterlands, right into the rural areas. Now, Vijay has conducted only a handful of public rallies so far, and he's only been able to reach a certain amount of the population. But through Jananayagan, he can reach lakhs of people through this film and the messaging that he wants to send out, which resonates clearly with what he has been talking about in his roadshows as well, right? So I think this is a huge advantage for him, and he's using this movie as a swan song, but also to reach out to lakhs and crores of people across Tamil Nadu in one shot. And I think, that is very, very, very important, because his star persona now becomes the political persona through this film, and it gives him a very big advantage heading into the elections.
All right, Lata, Veera and Vasudha, thank you for joining me on that big story. Every twist, every turn, every development, these are your correspondents who will bring it live to you all day today on NDTV 24/7. Moving on, but staying with news from the south, and this is an interesting story that I want to bring to you. Prabhas starrer Raja Saab has released in cinema halls. Ahead of the release, special fans shows were organized in India. Videos of crowded theatres have gone viral, and why? Because you have something really, really extraordinary in theatres, as you can see on your screens, along with the fans there. Now, the videos of crowded theatres have gone viral on social media and are a sign of Prabhas's unmatched stardom, of course. Earlier, the Raja Saab movie was pitted against Vijay's Jananayagan at the box office, but here's why it's gone viral. A clip shows fans bringing dummy crocodiles to cinema halls for the movie screening. Some moviegoers held the crocodiles over their head and ran inside the halls. The video of crocs inside cinema halls shocked everyone and left many amused along with us. Ashish, quite a wild moment, quote unquote, that we see inside the movie hall there.
Absolutely. At least we can say that in Tamil Nadu, Talapati Vijay fans are disappointed because this Pongal, this Sankranti, his movie, Vijay's movie, Jananayagan, is not in theatres. But at least here in Telugu state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, darling star Prabhas fans are celebrating and cheering. The movie Raja Sahab is in theatre. The Raja Sahab is much awaited film. Remember, hit the fame with the movie Bahubali across nation, not only across nation but across globe. His movie Bahubali is much appreciated and it earned much fame. But here in this particular movie release, we have witnessed a different kind of fan frenzy, fans reaching to theatre for pre-release event, for a premiere event with dummy crocodile. In fact, the lead actress of this movie, Vidya Agrawal, yesterday, in fact, she posted on her social media that if someone can bring a crocodile to take her to the premiere venue. So clearly, fans are celebrating, fans are cheering while movie is in theatre. What we are witnessing, that packed theatre and mixed review from the viewers.
And this one moment has gone viral, hasn't it?
Absolutely. This particular moment of fans coming inside the theatre with dummy crocodile, whether it's smaller in size or larger, the actual...
All right, we will have to interrupt you there because we have very big news coming in. Parasakthi, the movie, has been cleared by the censor board. A shot in the arm for the makers of Parasakthi. News is just coming in that Parasakthi has been cleared by the censor board. We'll try and get our reporters for you on this. This news, a shot in the arm for Parasakthi makers, is that they are going to get a US certification, while Vijay's movie is still has got the nod from the Madras High Court, but you have the censor board challenging that verdict as well. A shot in the arm for a movie that is seen as a DMK movie, while Vijay may still have to wait for his movie release. This is, of course, political as well as, of course, the developments being legal in nature, but the censor board now giving the clearance to the movie Parasakthi. And despite censor snags, Parasakthi seems to be all set for its release tomorrow. We're going to try and get some reporters for you on that story. A huge shot in the arm after Parasakthi has been cleared by the censor board. A lot of politics is expected over this. A lot of political voices also is what we're going to try and get on this story, given that this is not just about a movie's release, but the political implications of it all as well, after the censor board has greenlit the movie. Vasudha joining me on the phone line. Vasudha, just moments ago we were talking about the possibility of Parasakthi getting the UA certification while Vijay's movie still might have to wait.
That's right. Parasakthi is seen as a movie backed by the DMK, and the movie has received approval clearance by the CBFC, and the certificate actually says, after examination of the film by members of the revising committee mentioned below, and on recommendations, it is found to be fit for public examination with an endorsement of caution that there's something to do with like children below the age of 16 years. So yes, UA certificate has been given, which means that Parasakthi will be released tomorrow as per its original dates, and which also means that Jananayakan will have to wait. Then at least the people of Tamil Nadu will have one movie to watch, but yes, this also in some ways will intensify the political battle between DMK and TVK.
Then Vasudha, the political implications of this as well.
Absolutely, Vedika. This is Parasakthi is a very important political movie from the DMK stable. It looks at anti-Hindi agitations of the 60s and 70s that the state has witnessed. It also looks at Tamil sentiment. It looks at Dravidian model, everything that the DMK has been talking about. It's a heavily politicized movie is what we understand. And there have been several cuts that have been demanded of producers, which is why it went to the devising committee as well. And the film producers were hoping that they don't have to face legal hurdles like TVK is facing right now. But yes, while we were talking about Jananayakan, CBFC appealing against it, Parasakthi's clearance has come out, which means that there'll be at least one movie for people of Tamil Nadu to watch during Pongal weekend, even as Jananayakan's hurdles continue. But this means that TVK will also lash out at the DMK. The optics of the CBFC awarding a certificate to a DMK-backed movie at a time when TVK is still waiting for one also will, in some ways, intensify the political battle just ahead of the elections.
All right, Veera Raghav also joining me. Vasudha, stay on the phone line with me. What does this really mean, Veera? Parasakthi will be releasing tomorrow while Vijay's movie may have to wait.
What does this mean? What does this mean for the fan? He'll have to watch Parasakthi in one theatre, go and watch Parasakthi again in another theatre, because they're not going to have Jananayakan. And remember, Sivakarthikeyan not as big or as powerful a star as Vijay. However, he's an emerging star, someone who's had a chemistry with Vijay. In fact, he went on public and said, Vijay himself congratulated me on the release of Parasakthi, and I said, look, there is nothing that I did about it. Remember, there's another context to this, Vedika. Udayanidhi Stalin's son is the head of Red Giant Films, which is releasing Parasakthi. And it's an extraordinarily crucial movie for him as CEO, because the success of this movie also reflects on his leadership, and Parasakthi is seen from that point of view as well as a film itself, which is linked to the Stalin family on the one hand. The theme of it, very categorically from the trailer, is set in the 1960s, anti-Hindi agitation, a strong sense of the old world DMK ideology as the custodian of Tamil sentiment and also state autonomy and Tamil pride. I think that's pretty much the sentiment that it reflects, and those who watched said it's an extremely emotive movie. Those who've seen some of the cuts of the movie said it's an extremely emotive movie, and this is the closed circuit within the DMK I'm talking about. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to this movie at the box office and also how it feeds into that sentiment. Most importantly, will Jananayakan hit the decks and the screens just before Pongal? Will there be some kind of relief for it from the courts ultimately after the first one that they got today? What's going to go ahead will determine multiple aspects. It's interesting, very interesting to watch how this is going to play out on the political field, not just over the box office.
Interesting to watch how the TVK may react to this as well, Veera. They've waited, they're watching closely, they've remained silent over this entire issue. But now with Parasakthi's release, which is due on the 10th of January and has got the nod for it, it'll be interesting to see if Vijay or his people react to the release of this movie versus theirs being on hold for now, perhaps.
Vedika, the sense I'm getting from the TVK and increasingly from the start, they don't want to see this as a Jananayakan versus Parasakthi battle. Okay. Because from a filmy point of view, Vijay is too big a superstar to be competing with anybody else, except perhaps somebody like a Rajinikanth. So he believes he's in another orbit altogether. In fact, in his last film, Goat, the greatest of all time, that was released. There's a small cameo that Sivakarthikeyan plays in the dialogue at the end where Vijay says, I'm going to take care of the politics, you take care of the film industry. So that's the kind of chemistry the two stars have had. So, I don't think the TVK wants to portray this from the Parasakthi point of view. I think they're waiting to see how this plays out because I think there are multiple calculations at play. As I mentioned, there's a summons from the CBI before Vijay to appear before it on the 12th of January. So we'll have to see how all this plays out. Multiple connotations will be put to it. How the Madras High Court's division bench hears the matter, what happens in the legal case, all those things will determine how the TVK responds. Just a short while ago, I asked if a TVK spokesperson can join me at the 7 o'clock show in the evening. They said, boss, there's no decision from the party as yet on how to react. So let's see how this plays out.
But shot in the arm then, Vasudha, for the DMK in a way with the release of Parasakthi, given all that Veera has just said.
I think the most important thing is how is TVK going to react to this, Vedika, because...
Vasudha?
Yes, I think the most important thing is, like Veera was pointing out, TVK has been very silent till now, asking its fans to behave in a very obedient, dutiful fashion. But now, clearly, the war is going to get only bitter now with a DMK-backed movie releasing and the CBFC allowing it to be released, and that too it's a politicized movie. TVK will make very important statements and politically charged statements is what people, its own fans, Vijay's own fans are saying. But in the theatre that I'm at, there is a lot of disappointment, anger, and we'll have to wait. But they're also hopeful that by today's afternoon hearing, there could be some hope that could be revived. We'll have to wait and see how that works out.
Any word from the censor board on this yet, Vasudha?
Not as of now, but what we understand is that they are saying that, Parasakthi makers followed all processes and that's the reason why the revising committee also sent in certificates not just from CBSE but also from historical documents. And one source that I spoke to also said that the processes were met with a lot of diligence, which is something they found was lacking in the Jananayakan movie makers' approach, which is their point of view. We'll have to wait and see what the TVK says with regard to this.
Veera, if there's one unit that will be very busy right now, it's going to be the theatres and the booking platforms for theatres, now that there's some clarity on one of the two movies releasing.
I think, Vedika, the refund platforms will also be very, very busy as far as Jananayagan is concerned, because the first day, first show tickets have to be refunded worldwide. Look, I think when we talk about the business, Vedika, it's not as simple as we see it, as we discuss it on a television show, right? When you're coordinating a worldwide release, it's multiple theaters, multiple countries, multiple markets, and it's essential for a movie to release at one time. Why? In the age of internet, one release in another place and another release in another place could affect the two markets. So there are different markets, and I think there is enormous calculation and strategy involved in releasing a movie. All that goes for a toss as far as Jananayagan is concerned already, because we should be reviewing the movie right now if it was as per course. We would have watched the movie and I would have been talking to you about Jananayagan and comparing Parasakthi as a movie. We're not doing that. We're only going to be talking about Parasakthi till tomorrow. Jananayagan suspense over release. And then tomorrow, once the movie releases, then we will know when Jananayagan's going to hit the theatre. So I think business will be hit. There are multiple aspects that's going to play out. As I mentioned, the political connotation of the BJP targeting Vijay and then allowing a DMK-backed movie as well going through with certification. All that will build into conjuring up the political narrative. But we'll have to see how this plays out in the courts before we decide and get our heads around how this is going to play out in the political field.
So, Veera, I want you to recap for our viewers what we've seen in the last half an hour in terms of both the movies. Decks cleared for two top South movies, yes, but in terms of Parasakthi, we know it's releasing tomorrow, while there are still legal hurdles for Jananayagan, which is the real swan song for Vijay.
Let's recap very clearly. Decks not cleared. Jananayagan release stalled. It was supposed to hit the theatres on the 9th of January. That's been stalled. Suspense around Jananayagan release continues, because even if the court orders, The court can only order the CBFC to give a certification as it did this morning. The CBFC has the right to appeal before a division bench, which it has exercised, which means it's not ready to release the certificate. Now, will the CBFC prolong further if they get an unfavorable order from a division bench? Will they go up to the apex court? They have the options for it. And we are heading into a weekend. So, huge mystery and suspense and question mark over Jananayagan's release. Parasakthi will hit the screens tomorrow and will have a clear run at the box office till Jananayagan enters the spray in the theatres in Tamil Nadu. So that's pretty much the recap of what we've seen over the last hour or so.
But Veera, the overtures as well, politically, if you can take our viewers through that as well, that have emerged ever since this whole controversy has broken out of the legal hurdles for Vijay's movie. We've seen some Congress leaders come out, support him, support the release of the movie. What could all this mean ahead of the Tamil Nadu state elections?
Let me try spontaneously and give you 5 big takeaways from my point of view. 1, the BJP targeting Vijay as a narrative will get bolstered because they've gone and challenged the Madras High Court order. The fact that the CBFC did not give him certification itself led to that kind of a narrative. The second aspect is that Parasakthi, a movie that's backed by the DMK, gets a very clear run, at least at the start tomorrow, if we don't have a clear court verdict by the end of the day on Jananayagan. As far as the political connotations goes, the Congress clearly fishing and warming up and sending out messages to the TVK, but is perhaps bargaining hard with the DMK. They got 25 seats last time. They want nothing less than 40, we are told, according to sources, and are openly asserting a demand for sharing of power. That puts DMK in a delicate spot. The fourth and the big narrative is that Vijay's own political narrative gets far more bolstered because of the fact that his movie is getting delayed and that a DMK movie is getting released. He could, or his people and the whisper campaign, as you would call it, would say that he is being targeted by the DMK and the BJP through the censor board and other issues, and the DMK at the local level, which he's already declared as his #1 rival. 5, and most importantly, where does this leave the political realignment in Tamil Nadu is anybody's guess. Every small party is looking at bargaining and negotiating for more seats. And this is certainly TVK's entry disrupted the AIA-DMK dichotomy in Tamil Nadu. And that I can say for a certainty. How the alliance pressures are going to build out, how the seat sharing is going to come out, will determine how the political script works out.
Very important points. I'm glad we spoke about that. Veera, do stay with me for a moment because I have Sam Daniel also joining me live from Chennai. Sam, just tell us more about the timeline we're looking at when it comes to Jananayagan. The censor board has filed an urgent appeal. When are we expecting that to be heard? Just take us through the details.
No clarity yet, Vedika. It all depends if the Madras High Court would hear the writ appeal by the producers this afternoon, and if they listen, if they hear, would they give an order immediately? And then even if there's a favourable order in the Madras High Court, would the Central Board of Film Certification decide to take it up to the Supreme Court? And in that case, it could be a long drawn legal battle. In the first round, certainly it's a big victory for Team Vijay. The Madras High Court has called it wrong to have ordered for yet another round of review by a new committee when the first committee had no major objection and it was set to issue its certification at that point itself. The judge had called it as it could set a dangerous trend. Now we'll have to wait till early afternoon whether the issue would be heard, the appeal would be heard by the Chief Justice when the counsel for the government mentioned this to the CJ. He had said if a written appeal is filed today, then he could consider taking it up.
All right, Sam,
but in the case of Parasakthi, it's a clear advantage.
I've been told my colleague Vijay has spoken to actor Prakash Raj on the developments. Listen in.
It is a cooked up issue. The censor board has no business to do it in the last minute. And makers. We know there is a rule of law that we do submit our films to censor board much before. If somebody is releasing the film on 9th and if we submit the film on 8th, I understand. You wait till the last minute. So what is behind the idea behind? What is the agenda behind this? So when you're not a supreme body, when you we also need some time to talk back to you, But you don't give any space. And the court has slammed the right word, There's an intentions are different. The court has found out the intentions are different, isn't it?
Yes.
So I think it is time that we as a film fraternity or art people hold a censor board accountable to do their job properly. We are fragile. There's time invested, dreams, hopes on the release of the film, and money invested. Okay? Now, Central Board of Certification is a rule of law in this country that though we have a freedom of expression, there is a limit to a freedom of expression in the interest of the society. The Censor Board looks into the film. So we are supposed to submit a month before. We do it. We are waiting for the cuts. You take to the last minute and you just on whims and fancies will postpone the release. What is this? It is high time Central Board of Certification does its job properly. They have been slapped by the asking them to do their job. But that means the people behind the intention to stop Jananayagan are trying desperately something else.
Moving on to another controversial issue, and this also has to do with the politics of it all. Politics has erupted over the IPAC raids in Bengal. In a dramatic escalation of events, 8 TMC MPs staged a protest outside Kartavya Bhavan. Visuals from the national capital showed the MPs being dragged and detained by the police as they chanted slogans slamming the raids. Among the 8 MPs detained were Mahua Moitra, Derek O'Brien, Kirti Azad and 5 others. Remember, these protests come just a day after the Enforcement Directorate raided TMC's political strategist Pratik Jain, the co-founder of IPAC's residence. The episode has triggered yet another sharp BJP versus TMC face-off, with parties like Congress, SP and UBT Sena also slamming the BJP and the Enforcement Directorate for the raids. Aishwarya is joining me live, and so is Manogya Loiwal at this point. Aishwarya, high drama that we've seen ever since this morning that has unfolded after the TMC MPs were seen protesting in Delhi.
Well, that's right. And right now at the Parliament Street Police Station, it is another drama that is unfolding as far as what occurred this morning at Kartavya Bhavan, where 8 of the AITC MPs gathered and protested against the central government. Soon after that, we saw these MPs detained by the Delhi police. In fact, the AITC MPs also alleged that they were manhandled. Right now, I am at Parliament Street Police Station, and let me show you these visuals, what is happening inside the police station, because what is now being alleged by the AITC MPs that they are illegally being detained. They are not being allowed to be released. There you can see in the visuals Derek O'Brien speaking to the senior officials. What the TMC MPs have been saying, that soon after they were detained, they were kept over here for almost an hour or so, and later the police told them to leave the police station. But further to that, it is they were told to leave. They came outside the police station. But then, soon after that, senior police officials came and asked them to go back to the Parliament Street Police Station. So they're still inside, and what they are saying that there is no senior police official who is present at the spot. No FIR is being registered against them, but they are illegally being detained over here. But these MPs who came outside earlier stated that how it is the central government who is misusing these agencies. Earlier, it was the Home Minister Amit Shah, Prime Minister who spoke about Ajit Pawar, Himanta Biswa Sharma and their corruption allegations, but now it is illegal raids that are happening in Kolkata. Certainly, on one side it is Mamta Banerjee who would be holding a protest in Kolkata, but another round of protest taking place and huge drama unfolding as we have seen repeated confrontations being made by these MPs from the Delhi police officials after they were detained here at the Parliament Street Police Station.
So the drama continues then, Aishwarya, inside the police station there after Derek O'Brien, Mahua Moitra and the others were swooped in and dragged out by police personnel. What's the latest in terms of the allegations that they're also levelling? You've taken us through some of them, but for now, what are they saying inside the police station is what I want you to focus on.
As far as these 8 MPs are concerned, they were clearly stating that it was a raid that was conducted on a political consultancy firm, IPAC, and it is all the rights of Mamata Banerjee that she can take away the important documents, the strategy that the AITC had made as far as the upcoming West Bengal polls are concerned, and it's not an illegal theft as being alleged by the Enforcement Directorate, which filed a petition in the Kolkata High Court. And regarding that, it was these 8 MPs, the MP delegation led by Derek O'Brien, Rajya Sabha MP of the Trinamool Congress, at Kartavya Bhavan this morning surprisingly came, after which the Delhi police officials jumped into action. They were taken from the Kartavya Bhavan, which is a very high secure zone, and soon after that, they were manhandled as being alleged. One of the MP of the Trinamool Congress had suffered an ankle injury as well. This is also being alleged by the Trinamool Congress MPs.
All right.
After 2 hours, these MPs came outside, all of them, the 8 of them who were detained, and they were asked to leave. But further to that, few of the police officials came and asked them to go back again to sign the formalities. Now, what the TMC MPs here are alleging, that there are no senior police officials which are present here at the Parliament Street Police Station. Further to that, there is no FIR which is being registered, and also now they have set on a dharna inside the Parliament Street Police Station. There you can see live visuals. Derek O'Brien, Kirti Azad, Shatabdi Roy, all are present waiting for the police officials. And what they are saying, that it's a illegal detention. A police van also had went inside the Parliament Street Police Station to take them away. But certainly it is these 8 MPs who are still present here at the Parliament Street.
Aishwarya, do stay with me. I have a correspondence also on the ground in Kolkata. But before that, we're going to cut across to Ravi Shankar Prasad, who is speaking live at this moment.
कोल की स्मगलिंग और हवाला ट्रांजैक्शन को लेकर ईडी कार्रवाई कर रही है. उसमें कई जगह रेड वगैरह हुई, और जो मिस्टर जैन हैं, उसके कंसल्टेंसी फर्म के बारे में ये शिकायत आई कि करोड़ों रुपए का ट्रांजैक्शन यहां से हुआ है. ये बात हम नहीं कह रहे हैं, ईडी ने अपने ऑफिशियल स्टेटमेंट में कहा है, जो उनके वेबसाइट पर है. उसकी कॉपी हमारे पास है. ने पूरा लिंकेज बताया है. ऐसे में वो काम करने गए थे. और आपको मालूम है, बंगाल कोल स्मगलिंग का एक बहुत बड़ा हॉट स्पॉट बना है. रूलिंग पार्टी के बहुत लोग का इन्वॉल्वमेंट है, उसकी चर्चा कई बार हुई है, हम लोगों ने भी किया है. यहां पर स्पेसिफिक केस था, और मैं फिर रिपीट करूंगा, ये रेड न ममता जी के घर पर थी, न उनके ऑफिस में थी, न टीएमसी के दफ्तर में थी, न टीएमसी के किसी नेता, विधायक, एमपी या ऑफिस बेरर के घर पे थी. ये रेड थी एक प्राइवेट कंसल्टेंसी फर्म, जिसके यहां करोड़ों रुपए के मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग की शिकायत आई थी कोल स्कैम में, उसको फैसिलिटेट करने के. और ये मैं फिर कह रहा हूं, ये मैं नहीं कह रहा हूं, ये बाकायदे उनके स्टेटमेंट में है, जो उनके वेबसाइट पर है. आपको कॉपी हम दे देंगे प्रेस के बाद. ऐसे में ममता जाती हैं, वो सिटिंग चीफ मिनिस्टर हैं, और समाचार पत्रों में यह भी लिखा हुआ है, जैन का घर कहाँ है. गाड़ी छोड़ती हैं और फ्लैट में घुसती हैं. उनके पुलिस कमिश्नर जाते हैं, पुलिस अफसर जाते हैं, और वहां ईडी के लोगों को हड़काते हैं, और ये बहस करती हैं, और कागज छीन करके लेके चली जाती हैं. उनका आचरण नहीं अमर्यादित, असंवैधानिक, शर्मनाक है, लेकिन लोकतांत्रिक मर्यादाओं का उन्होंने तार तार कर दिया है. द इंटायर एक्शन ऑफ द चीफ मिनिस्टर इज नॉट ओनली अनएथिकल, irresponsible, unconstitutional, but she has put the entire democratic process and governance to shame. मुझे याद आता है कि आज वो मामला भी है. आपको मालूम है कि लालू प्रसाद के खिलाफ दिल्ली कोर्ट ने चार्ज फ्रेम कर दिया, वो लैंड फॉर जॉब स्कैम में, और कहा है कि वो सिंडिकेट चला रहे हैं. जब चारा घोटाले की लड़ाई हम लोग बिहार में लड़ रहे थे, स्वर्गीय सुशील मोदी और हम, बड़ी लड़ाई थी, रेड हुई थी, लालू जी गिरफ्तार हुए थे। लेकिन एक बात मैं कहूंगा, कभी लालू जी या राबड़ी जी ने सीबीआई के दफ्तर में रेड करने की नहीं सोची थी। बात को समझिए जो मैं कहना चाह रहा हूं। तो ये तो कमाल हो गया ना। ममता जी, आपको घबराहट क्यों है? द बीजेपी वुड लाइक टू आस्क मैडम ममता जी, व्हाट इज योर लिंकेज विद दैट कंसल्टेंसी फर्म? आपको इतनी घबराहट हो गई? वो तो कंसल्टेंसी फर्म कई का काम करती है। लेकिन अगर घोटालों की जांच हो रही है, कोल स्कैम की जांच हो रही है, तो आपको इतनी परेशानी क्यों है? यह हमें बात समझ में नहीं आती। एक शब्द मैं कहूंगा, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ सस्पिशियस सर्कमस्टेंसेस सराउंडिंग। ममता जी एक सीनियर नेता है ना, 10 साल से मुख्यमंत्री है, 15 साल से, 14 साल से केंद्रीय मंत्री भी रही हैं, तो गवर्नेंस समझती हैं। ये क्या है? तो अगर ममता बनर्जी सारे नियमों, कानून, लोकतांत्रिक मर्यादा को तार तार करके गई हैं, तो वहां कुछ बहुत सेंसिटिव था जिसको निकालना जरूरी था। आई रिपीट, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ सस्पिशियस सर्कमस्टेंसेस सराउंडिंग द होल, I would say, barbaric action of Mamta ji. She is CM for 14 years, has been a central minister, knows the norms of governance. And if she goes and raids a particular house where official raid of the ED is going on in case of coal scam and snatches the file and comes out, that means she was trying to rescue something sensitive implicating her and her party. और क्या कहा जाए? इसका इन्फरेंस और क्या हो सकता है? और ममता जी ने कोई पहली बार तो किया नहीं है। याद करिए, जब शारदा स्कैम में राजीव कुमार जो डीजीपी थे, उनको बात हुई थी, उनको सीबीआई ने इंटरोगेट करने की बात की थी, तो वहां जाकर धरने पर बैठ गई थी। संदेश खाली में उस मेन एक्यूज को बचाने के लिए क्या क्या नहीं किया। मुझे तो पार्टी ने कई बार बंगाल में एट्रॉसिटी की जांच करने के लिए भेजा है, चाहे वो लोकल बॉडी का इलेक्शन हो या ग्राम पंचायत में जो अत्याचार हुआ। मैं संदेश खाली भी गया था, तो संदेश खाली में कहा गया कि आप मत जाइए। मैंने कहा क्यों नहीं जाएंगे, देखा जाएगा। तो बाद में मेरी
All right, the BJP, they're calling Mamata Banerjee's actions in Kolkata yesterday unethical and unconstitutional. But this is not the end, viewers, of the high drama that's unfolding in Delhi. There's a court hearing, there's high drama inside a police station, and that press conference. We'll get you all the updates in moments from now. Stay tuned to Breaking Ground.
The nerve center of the maximum city, the BMC, a contest that will shape Mumbai's next decade, its identity, its legacy, its future. NDTV brings you the battle for Mumbai, asking who will hold the keys to India's richest civic body and what would it mean for Mumbaikars. BMC Power Play, only on the NDTV network.
From the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets on Live Your City by Fever.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Delhi set the fairway on fire. The precision, the edge, the contest, the electric energy. Now, the NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am travels to Hyderabad, a day crafted for an unmatched experience. NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am, the course of champions, the conversation of leaders. 10th January 2026, Boulders Hills Golf and Country Club. The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Master Stroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Master Stroke Art Awards, an odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
Honoring the masters who define our creative landscape. Coming soon on the NDTV network. Every winter, the World Economic Forum at Davos becomes the world's thinking room, where power, policy and purpose converge, where the future is examined and reimagined. In January 2026, NDTV will be at the heart of this conversation. NDTV Ignite at Davos, this January on the NDTV network.
Other opposition parties.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
"21 days in Kashmir. People have bombarded me, friends, with requests for an unfiltered list of things I saw and observed on the ground.
Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling.
They're now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad sahab, aise mat kijiye. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do.
And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude.
We're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship.
The line of control, Shiv Arur, NDTV.
What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind. I pause, I reflect, I dig, until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else, only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide.
A woman stands bleeding on an Iranian street. Her head uncovered, her eyes unafraid. For years, for decades, she says her body has been a prison. Rules written by the state, fear enforced by force. Silence demanded by law. Today, perhaps that prison is breaking. What began after the death of Mahsa Amini has turned into a moment defined by women who refuse to be controlled, even as they are beaten, even as they are arrested, and even as they are injured. These images may being the operative word here, come to define Iran's protests. Women wounded but standing, bleeding but unbowed. The crackdown is brutal, viewers. The cost is high. But this image on your screen is unmistakable. This afternoon we ask, is this the moment Iran's women change the country's future? And can courage captured on camera outlast repression? Is this the tipping point? Or is this just a flash in the pan? That's a top focus. I'm Vedika Sood. Let's take you through the headlines at this hour. After high-stake drama over censor certificate, the Madras High Court orders the censor board to issue UA certification for Vijay's film Jan Nayagan. Big shot in the arm for Vijay, but the censor board has now filed an urgent appeal. Decks cleared for Parasakthi's release. The movie is all set to release tomorrow. UA certification for it. It's BJP versus Mamata Banerjee and her MPs. The fight is here in the national capital. The police detain TMC MPs. High drama unfolds inside the police station. A big hearing scheduled in the Calcutta High Court today.
I know it is not your fault. You are acting on behalf of your Home Minister and everybody. Don't touch my MP. Don't touch him. His leg is hurt already.
Delhi court frames criminal charges against RJD chief and former Railways Minister Lalu Prasad Yadav and his family members in the alleged Railways Land for Job scam, says they acted as a criminal syndicate. Protests against Iran's Islamic regime intensifies in Tehran, with Iranians angered by a soaring cost of living and flailing economy, and crackdowns by security forces take to the streets. That image on your screen, viewers, is one of the most defining images from the protests overnight. US President Donald Trump has warned of severe consequences for Iran if authorities respond with violence against protesters following a surge of unrest across the country. But we start with some breaking news at the top of 1 p.m. here on Breaking Ground. Massive drama continues to unfold. First, it was outside the Home Minister's office where you had 8 MPs who were protesting. They claimed it was a silent protest, but within minutes, they were swooped away by the police, and now the action has moved to the police station in central Delhi, where you have Derek O'Brien and other MPs claiming they are being detained, they have been kept back. They were first asked to leave after being detained for a while, but when they were at the gate of the police station, the police personnel came back to call them in, and then high drama has unfolded ever since. Aishwarya is live with me. Aishwarya, from the last time we've spoken, what have the developments been? We've heard Derek O'Brien go up to a police representative and say a few very, very sharp comments to him, and has also warned him not to touch his MPs. What else can you tell us at this point?
Well, all the MPs from Trinamool Congress who were detained this morning from Kartavya Bhavan are still here at the Parliament Street police station, and they have been alleging that it is an illegal detention. There is no FIR that has been registered so far against them, and they are not being allowed to leave the police station as well, as there is no senior police official, and there are no such formalities that are being done so that they can leave. Although just an hour before, these MPs tried to come out, they were asked to leave, but they were again told to go inside. So at the Parliament Street police station, there you can see in the visuals now, there are police personnel who had gathered over here just outside the main gate here, and now these MPs are just sitting at the main gate, and they are staging a dharna, is what we have been told. I can see Derek O'Brien, Kirti Azad, Shatabdi Roy, along with other MPs are sitting just inside this main gate and staging a protest against the Delhi police. So yes, high drama unfolding. Before that, we saw confrontation with Derek O'Brien as well, with the senior Delhi police official as to why they are not allowed to leave.
All right, Aishwarya, you're going to stay with me. I'm going to come back to you in a moment from now to understand more of what's happening inside and right outside the police station in Delhi. But just to recap for our viewers, all that's happening not only in the national capital, but in West Bengal, in Kolkata as well. Today is a day of high drama, viewers. You're seeing a silent protest that then turned highly dramatic. You're seeing a press conference that was held by Ravi Shankar Prasad, taking on Mamata Banerjee and her party people. There's going to be a march that is going to be held by Mamata Banerjee in about an hour from now, and that all-important hearing in the Calcutta High Court. Let's just sum it all up for our viewers. Politics has erupted over the IPAC raids in the state of West Bengal. In a dramatic escalation of events, 8 TMC MPs staged a protest outside Kartavya Bhavan. Visuals from the national capital showed the MPs being dragged and swooped away by the police personnel as they chanted slogans slamming the raids. Among the 8 MPs detained were Mahua Moitro, Derek O'Brien, Kirti Azad and 5 others. Remember, these protests come just a day after the Enforcement Directorate raided Trinamool Congress's political strategist Pratik Jain, the co-founder of IPAC. The episode has triggered yet another sharp BJP versus opposition face-off, with parties like the Congress, SP and UBT Sena slamming the BJP and ED for the raids.
Mr. Manoj Kumar Singh, I know it is not your fault. You are acting on behalf of your Home Minister and everybody. Don't touch my MP. Don't touch him. His leg is hurt already.
Sir, please, आप गाड़ी में चलिए.
ये अस्पताल लेके जाइए आगे, आप आगे.
मैं उठोगे तब तो.
नहीं, आप नहीं.
ईडी के रेड केवल विशेष क्यों और जबरदस्ती क्यों किए जा रहे हैं? हम ये भी जानना चाहते हैं कि ऐसे अनेकों लोग हैं जिनके ऊपर पुख्ता प्रमाण हैं। अमित शाह जी ने खुद कहा था कि हेमंत बिस्वा शर्मा को जेल डालेंगे। अजीत पवार के विरुद्ध प्रधानमंत्री ने कहा था कि 70,000 करोड़ का घोटाला हुआ है। नारायण राणे के ऊपर पैसे को हेराफेरी करने का किया गया है। और हमारे बंगाल के एक नेता है शुभेंदु अधिकारी, जिनको 5 लाख रुपया हेराफेरी करते हुए, पकड़ते हुए और अपने ड्रॉर में डालते हुए देखा गया था। क्या ईडी केवल विशेष रूप से उन विरोधियों के खिलाफ में काम कर रही है जिनके खिलाफ वो जीत नहीं सकती? ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी की हिम्मत नहीं कि वह वहां आकर ममता बंदोपाध्याय के विरुद्ध जीत सके।
ये अमित शाह जी का ऑफिस है, कल ईडी को भेजे थे। इलेक्शन के टाइम उनको सब याद आ जाते हैं। पहले उनका 10 साल 11 साल कुछ नहीं याद रहते। इलेक्शन के टाइम सब ईडी भेजना, सीबीआई भेजना, उसका याद आ जाता है इलेक्शन जीतने के लिए, लेकिन जीतेंगे नहीं।
एक सिटिंग मुख्यमंत्री एक प्राइवेट प्रॉपर्टी में घुसकर जहां मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग की कार्रवाई चल रही है ईडी के द्वारा, वहां चली जाए, ईडी के लोगों को धमकाए और पेपर स्नैच कर कर वॉकआउट कर जाए। और आपको मालूम है बंगाल कोल स्मगलिंग का एक बहुत बड़ा हॉट स्पॉट बना है। रूलिंग पार्टी के बहुत लोग का इन्वॉल्वमेंट है, उसकी चर्चा कई बार हुई है, हम लोगों ने भी किया है। यहां पर स्पेसिफिक केस था और मैं फिर रिपीट करूंगा, ये रेड न ममता जी के घर पर थी, न उनके ऑफिस में थी, न टीएमसी के दफ्तर में थी, न टीएमसी के किसी नेता, विधायक, एमपी या ऑफिस बेरर के घर पे थी। ये रेड थी एक प्राइवेट कंसल्टेंसी फर्म जिसके यहां करोड़ों रुपए के मनी लॉन्ड्रिंग की शिकायत आई थी कोल स्कैम में, उसको फैसिलिटेट करने के।
Aishwarya still with us. Aishwarya, Ravi Shankar Prasad as well as the BJP, other leaders from his party claiming that Mamta's actions are unethical and unconstitutional. And I think this image that we have on our screens right now, Aishwarya, of Mamta Banerjee addressing the press, holding that one file in her hand, is a very symbolic one, because that's what the BJP has also been crying foul over.
Well, certainly, the Enforcement Directorate, remember, in that particular petition filed in the Kolkata High Court also stated that it's a forceful theft of important documents. When there are official raids that are being conducted by the Enforcement Directorate at the IPAC offices, how can Mamta Banerjee conduct that raid and take out those important files, digital evidences, mobile phones, gadgets along with her? Certainly, the Bharatiya Janata Party has questioned Mamta Banerjee and stated that Mamta Banerjee, who had an experience of the laws and there is something very circumstantial that can hamper her image or the party regarding the coal scam that the Enforcement Directorate was raiding upon. What was those in the files and why Mamta Banerjee went to the residence of Prateek Jain and the IPAC offices in between the official raids of the Enforcement Directorate is the question that the Bharatiya Janata Party is certainly asking. It is the Trinamool Congress, when I spoke to Kirti Azad, Mahua Moitra and others, that what the Enforcement Directorate and the Bharatiya Janata Party has been saying, it is on the other side the allegations that the Trinamool Congress has made that the real theft is Home Minister Amit Shah, Prime Minister Narendra Modi. In fact, the TMC MPs went on to say that once upon a time they used to call Ajit Pawar a corrupt person, Himanta Biswa Sarma a corrupt person, but they all had now become the deputy chief ministers and the chief ministers of the respective states, and no action has been taken against them, while the Enforcement Directorate is being used as a political tool by the central government, and certainly they are being used just before the West Bengal polls by conducting these raids. Now, these files, when specifically being asked why Mamta Banerjee took them, it is Kirti Azad who went on to say that these files had important strategies regarding the West Bengal polls. They had made the strategies from Gram Panchayat level to booth level to the district level, and why the Bharatiya Janata Party want to steal these strategic documents. They want to fight the elections democratically, then they can come upon, but by using these agencies, this clearly shows that they have fear in their mind as to they have fear to lose the elections in the West Bengal polls, and therefore the reason perhaps the ED is being used, certainly being misused perhaps by the central government on the behest of Amit Shah.
All right, Aishwarya, you've got us all the drama that's unfolding and the perspective from the national capital. I now want to move to West Bengal, where the drama will unfold yet again, because there's a march that has been planned by the West Bengal Chief Minister. There's a hearing that we will, of course, be on the top of to bring you all the details on what plays out in terms of TMC versus ED, TMC versus BJP. Now, meanwhile, in Kolkata, a legal battle is all set to play out. Like I said, the Enforcement Directorate, Trinamool Congress, as well as the IPAC co-founder Pratik Jain, have moved petitions in the Calcutta High Court. The Enforcement Directorate has moved the Calcutta High Court, making the CM a party in the case, and the Enforcement Directorate has alleged that the Chief Minister obstructed an ongoing investigation during a raid at the residence of the offices of Pratik Jain, the chief of election consultancy firm IPAC. Now, the Trinamool Congress, on the other hand, has accused the Enforcement Directorate of political vendetta. The Trinamool Congress has alleged that the Enforcement Directorate had seized articles linked to election campaign data and that there was a bid to disrupt free and fair elections. Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee has also announced a protest march against the agency's raids in the state today. The Chief Minister announced that she would lead a protest march between the Jadavpur and Hazra crossing at 2 p.m. on Friday. Remember, 8th of January, the ED searched IPAC Chief Pratik Jain's office and residence in connection with the coal scam. All right, I'm also now going to bring to you some of the arguments by the Trinamool Congress at this point. Some of them are that Mamata Banerjee and her people, along with the MPs that you have seen in Delhi, are claiming that articles were seized and they consist of confidential campaign data. They also go on to say materials in question do not fall in scope of PMLA or probe. They're also saying that action in pretext of probe trying to access poll strategy. So they're also claiming political espionage at this point. There's an attempt to disrupt free and fair electoral process is another claim being made by the Trinamool Congress. All this is a part of their petition. Intrusion into right of privacy also is one, and intrusion into right to participate in democratic processes. Also, we've got you what the Trinamool Congress is saying at this point. What is the Enforcement Directorate's counter is equally important for you as a viewer to note. Now, the Enforcement Directorate's plea says state police in collusion with West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. Why are they saying this? Because they had top cops also get to Pratik Jain's residence along with Mamata Banerjee yesterday. So that's one claim. CM in flagrant disregard of the law, something even that the BJP just said. Ravi Shankar Prasad in that press conference that you just heard about 20 minutes back had called it unconstitutional. Her actions as well as unethical. Forcible theft and illegal removal of digital devices is what ED is saying, while you have the TMC saying this is an attempt of political espionage. Interference with sections 17 search is per legal is also what they say. Per se illegal is what Mamata Banerjee is also claiming. At this point, we have some breaking news coming in. All right, news just coming in. Tamil Nadu BJP chief has met with the AIADMK chief. NDA strategy meet ahead of the Tamil Nadu polls. Nayanar Nagendran has met with Palaniswamy. Sam Daniel joins me live. Sam, we're seeing a lot of these meetings take place, be it in Tamil Nadu or be it in Delhi. This is also an important meeting coming ahead of Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to Tamil Nadu end of the month.
That's right, Vedika. They aim to tie these loose ends in terms of the alliance under the NDA in Tamil Nadu, so that what began after Amit Shah's recent visit, a kind of a new speed took over after that. They hope to finish everything and to make sure possibly they all will be able to showcase them on a single stage. And already after Amit Shah's visit to Tamil Nadu on a two-day visit, PMK, one faction of it, led by Dr. Anbumani Ramadas, who claims he represents the real PMK, has returned to NDA. And a day after that, we see Nayanar Nagendran, the BJP state chief, meeting Edapadi Palaniswamy. It could be on two things. One, the BJP sources confirm it's about seat sharing, number of seats, and identifying winnable seats for the BJP. Number two, the other possible allies who could be roped in, discussion on that as well. The speculation is that the Tamil Nadu BJP is demanding more than 50 seats, and that could be the key point of discussion and key constituencies where they believe they have a stronger presence. But as we speak, the NDA is still on a weak wicket. The AIADMK is still a divided house because its expel leaders, EPS is not so comfortable to take them back, including O. Pannirselvam and Sasikala. Two partners have left the NDA, OPS and TTV Dinakaran. The PMK, although Dr. Anbumani is back in the NDA fold, there is a tussle internally going on between him and his father. And if they do not patch up, they both could fight separately, and that could again hurt the interest of the NDA. And actor Vijay Gant's DMDK hasn't made up its mind. His wife would lead a rally in Kadalur this evening, where one expects to announce about their alliance decision. So it's in this context the meeting has taken place, and we could expect rapid developments at least in the coming week.
Sam Daniel, thank you for adding perspective to that meeting, an important one, and it's one of the many meetings that are taking place at this point just ahead of the Tamil Nadu state elections. Shot in the arm for Thalapathy Vijay as the Madras High Court clears the decks for Jan Nayagan, but there could be a legal obstruction coming up today or next week. The court has pulled up, remember, the censor board directing it to grant the UA certification once minor modifications are made. The High Court makes it clear the complaint against the film appears to be an afterthought. Important to note, warning that entertaining such pleas sets a dangerous precedent. Crucially, the film will not be sent to the censor board review panel. With certification imminent, all eyes now on Vijay's farewell film and whether Jan Nayagan hits the screens this Pongal weekend, because the censor board has also filed an urgent appeal. My colleague Vijay spoke to Prakash Raj on this controversy. Listen in.
It is a cooked up issue. The censor board has no business to do it in the last minute. And makers. We know there is a rule of law that we do submit our films to censor board much before. If somebody is releasing the film on 9th and if we submit the film on 8th, I understand. You wait till the last minute. So what is behind the idea behind? What is the agenda behind this? So when you're not a supreme body, when you we also need some time to talk back to you, you know. But you don't give any space. And the court has slammed the right word, you know. There's an intentions are different. The court has found out the intentions are different, isn't it?
Yes.
So I think it is time that we as a film fraternity or art people hold the censor board accountable to do their job properly. You know we are fragile. There's time invested, dreams, hopes on the release of the film, and money invested. Okay? Now, Central Board of Certification is a rule of law in this country that though we have a freedom of expression, there is a limit to a freedom of expression in the interest of the society. The Censor Board looks into the film. So we are supposed to submit a month before. We do it. We are waiting for the cuts. You take the last minute and you just on whims and fancies will postpone the release. What is this? It is high time Central Board of Certification does its job properly. They have been slapped by the asking them to do their job. But that means the people behind the intention to stop Jan Nayagan are trying desperately something else.
All uncertainty around the movie Parasakthi has now come to an end because the Siva starrer Parasakthi has officially been cleared by the censor board. The censor board has granted the film a UA certification, paving the way for its theatrical release. The film, which was earlier caught in certification delays over suggested cuts, has now secured clearance without further hurdles. With the censor process complete, Parasakthi will hit theatres tomorrow, the 10th of January. Sam Daniel still with me. Sam, this is a big win for Parasakthi, while Vijay may still have to wait for his movie release.
That's right. Although there was a delay initially, the team was quite confident that they had complied with the cuts and recommendations, and the director was not comfortable with suggestions made, and she even had wanted to prefer an appeal, but all has ended well for them, and the production sources say that the film would hit the screens tomorrow as scheduled on around 500 screens across Tamil Nadu and in several parts around the world as well. Politically, before elections, this film is a crucial film which in a sense showcases the DMK's anti-Hindi agitation in the 60s that had catapulted the power, and the film's release has been timed just before the elections in Tamil Nadu, also having in mind the new challenger they have in Active Vijay to drive home the point of the Dravidian party's role in fighting and struggling for the Tamil language when the Hindi imposition was largely driven by the Congress at that point in time from the central government.
All right, Sam, thanks for joining me live there. We, of course, will keep a track on all the developments on that story. But moving away from India for a moment, I want us to spend some time on another story overseas that has emerged as a top headline globally, which is Iran. Iranian protesters have stepped up their challenge to the clerical leadership with the biggest protests yet of nearly 2 weeks of rallies as authorities cut internet access and the death toll from a crackdown mounted. Videos and images show massive anti-government protests across multiple cities in Iran as protesters took to the streets in large numbers. At least 34 protesters and 4 security personnel have been killed during the unrest, and 2,200 protesters have been arrested. US-based human rights activist news agency reports these figures to us. Now, the movement, which originated with a shutdown on the Tehran Bazaar on the 28th of December after the rial currency plunged to record lows, has spread nationwide and is now being marked by larger scale demonstrations, including in the capital. The exiled Crown Prince of Iran has called the protesters his courageous compatriots, urging them to take the streets. He said Iran is facing a historic moment and has added that he is ready to return to the country.
In all these years, I've never seen an opportunity as we see today in Iran. The Iranian people are more than ever committed to bring an end to this regime, as the world has witnessed in the last few days. The level of demonstrations unprecedented in Iran, over 100 cities and millions of people on the street chanting death to the dictator, an end to this regime. And by God, it is about time that Iran gets its opportunity to free itself from a tyrannical regime. Nearly half a century ago, the role that the bazaar, which is the traditional bourgeoisie, plays in Iranian politics. And today we've seen unprecedented scenes in the Iranian bazaar of merchants and joining with the protesters. And it has been my strategy to call upon the military personnel and people, the armed forces, to lay down their arms and join with the people, to be part of the solution, to be able to have an exit strategy we offer them as a national reconciliation. We see that quite evident. And this is very important because when you're facing an extremely brutal regime, and when we think of the post-collapse stability of a smoother transition, it will be impossible without the tacit cooperation and collaboration of the military forces. The fact that they have heeded my call, and I've sent them another message of clarify your position, you're either with the people or stand vis-a-vis them. We are beginning to see more and more defections. I launched this campaign about 6 months ago. We have received tens of thousands of applicants who would like to join. It's not just limited to the military and paramilitary forces, Sean. It also includes the civil bureaucracy, people who are working government ministries. All of them be part of the solution that will end up bringing this regime to its knees. Now, as to Khamenei's status and whether he's ready to bail out, who knows? But either way, the regime is crumbling and is very close to collapsing.
Let's take you through some of the defining images now coming in from Tehran and other regions in Iran. Massive protests continue to sweep across Iran for the 12th night, from the capital Tehran to cities nationwide. In Mashhad, the birthplace of the Supreme Leader Khamenei, demonstrators are tearing down flags, chanting anti-regime slogans and blocking streets, a bold show of dissent in the heart of the regime stronghold. The building of Iran's state broadcaster was set on fire by civilian protesters in Isfahan, central Iran. Chants of death to the dictators have been heard in Iran, and the country's state broadcasting building went up in flames. In western Iran, a brave woman is seen with a bloodied face after clashes with regime forces, yet she refuses to be silent, shouting, quote unquote, "I'm not afraid, I've been dead for 47 years. Her courage has become a rallying cry, symbolizing the fearless role of Iranian women at the forefront of protests demanding freedom and justice. But there were also pro-monarchy slogans chanted in the capital city of Tehran. "Long live Shah" chants rang through the streets of Tehran as the exiled crown prince gave repeated calls for the protesters to take to the streets. Also, a video showed protesters raising the Lion and Sun flag of Iran at a major square in the city to loud cheers from protesters. The protesters were heard chanting, "Long live the king" in Persian, a nod to the pre-1979 monarchy. The flag featuring the Lion and Sun emblem was the official flag of Iran before the Islamic Revolution of 1979. Getting you some top reactions as well. US President Donald Trump has warned of severe consequences for Iran if authorities respond with violence against protesters following a surge of unrest across the country. Trump has threatened to take severe action if Iranian authorities, quote unquote, start killing people who are protesting, warning that Washington, D.C. would hit them very hard. Trump said this in an interview. Iran, under its supreme leader, is battling an economic crisis after years of sanctions and recovering from the June war against Israel.
So they played rough, and I said, if they do that, we're going to hit them very hard. Well, we're going to hit them hard. We're ready to do it. If they do that, we're going to hit them hard. And so far, for the most part, there's been some of it, but for the most part, they haven't. There have been people killed. Some of them, the crowds are so big that some of them have had really, like, were stomped on. Literally, it was terrible. The crowds are just, they're massive. The enthusiasm to overturn that regime is incredible. But there's been people killed, but it's more from death by, it's literally stomping. It's people running in a certain direction. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens over there.
So Iran is once again witnessing protests driven by deep public anger over the economy, freedoms, and the future of the country. The big question this afternoon then is whether this moment marks a real turning point for the Islamic Republic or whether it's another flash of unrest the regime believes it can ride out. So joining us now from London is Burzine Wagma from the Center for Iranian Studies at SOAS, University of London. Mr. Wagma, thank you so much for joining me here on Breaking Ground. My first question to you, sir, is this moment in Iran a genuine turning point or just another flash in the pan that the regime will eventually suppress?
I'll take your latter point first. Is it just another round of protests and then opposition exhaustion sets in and things go back to normal with the regime garnering the upper hand? We've seen that played out over and over again. What makes the protests distinct and not distinct are this, Vedika. Firstly, the people out are there and it's very voluble, but it's not the 2 and 3 million that we saw during the Green Revolution of 2009. We've not reached those numbers in terms of protests, despite being national pan-Iranian protests across all 31 provinces now. It was up to 22 provinces until a few days ago, but now it's across all 31 provinces, including small towns and hamlets, not just the major cities like Tehran, Isfahan, Shiraz, Mashhad. That's number one. Number two, so far the government has sent out conflicting signals. President Pezeshkian has asked the police and security forces to exercise restraint because he's something of a moderate, which is why he was elected in the first place. But the security forces and the regime hardliners are not having any of it, looking upon these genuine grassroots movements as led by insurrectionists funded from abroad or by Israel or the US and all that kind of nonsense. They've capitalized on that over and over again, but this time it's not so, and it may tip against them because the traditional bazaar element is out, which is dead set against the regime's inefficiencies and ineptitudes too. The bazaar as such, the marketplace, consists of the Shia, pious traditional merchant class who supported the revolution in 79, ironically against Reza Pahlavi's father when he was ousted in Jan 79. And they were in more ways than one continue being the lifeline and providing patronage networks and legitimacy to the current dispensation over the last 47 years. But they've been hard hit by this economic mismanagement, which has more to do with endemic corruption and venality, less so with sanctions. Much less so with sanctions, but with the basic sclerotic economy, structural iniquities and inefficiencies which have been embedded over the last so many decades.
So, Burzin, that brings me to my next question. Do these protests signal a deeper erosion then of the regime's legitimacy, or does the state still have firm control?
The regime has no legitimacy. I can answer that right away. It has no legitimacy across the board, across all strata of Iranian society, well, except those who benefited from it, the financial oligarchy surrounding Khamenei, who've done well for themselves, and who, unconfirmed reports now mention, some are flighting it by asking for visas for France. And that reminds me of pointing out to your viewers what has happened overnight. Foreign Minister Arakchi arrived in Beirut on what was considered a routine official visit, but he also brought his family with him, and they are now comfortably ensconced in Beirut, his family. Turkish Airlines announced a few minutes ago that they are discontinuing flights to Tehran today, suspending for a while. So that's something to be seen, because Iran-Turkey flights are the maximum flights that operate in terms of sheer traffic growth out of Iran. So that's something to be noted. And also, with what happened in Venezuela over the weekend, it has concentrated the minds of those who are, well, attached to the regime and regime survivalists, hardliners, who have been mulling, Vedika, whether Khamenei ought go or not. Now, this is something that can be theoretically done and could always be done. The supreme leader, the Valier Faki, could be removed by Article 111 of the Constitution. It exists theoretically on paper, but it's such a stitched up system that it would never happen, because the Assembly of Experts, the 88-member clerical body who elects him, are itself vetted by what is called a guardian council, 6 of whom are appointed by Khamenei itself.
I like the phrase you use there, Mr. Wagner. You go on to say that this is a stitched kind of regime, but I want to also focus on the women, and I would ask my director to put some visuals of the women protesting there in Iran on our screens as well. Women and young people are at the forefront again. Does this leadership fundamentally change the trajectory, or would you say this is largely symbolic, what we're seeing with women participating in these protests, sir?
It's not symbolic. It is palpable. It is very much evident, because it's women, but also the Gen Z, if you can put it that way. Not just the boomer generation, like the lady currently on your screen, but the Gen Z, the younger ones, who are stifled by petty repressive measures. And it's a bit too little and too late. As I speak, in the last few weeks, they've been mulling, should we pass the bill into law or not? And what's the bill I'm referring to? Whether female motorcyclists can be allowed. I mean, this is the 21st century, and females on bikes are permitted with, I suppose, with a husband or a male, but they're not allowed to ride on their own. So it's this kind of attitude and the repressive measures and a slew of other measures, not just the veil against which people are calling out, and a young, restive population. Over 65% of Iran's current demographic is in the working age group between 18 and 60 is as such.
Interesting.
So you have a vested population and a literate population with 90+% literacy, with no opportunities or nothing to look forward to. And when you see these protests with the girls calling out, I've been dead for the last 47 years. It is ironic for a historian like me to see that these were the very same protests back in 78, 79 to oust the current Shah's son, who has been calling for these protests now, against his father, because it feeds into that sheer psyche of martyrdom. That cannot be ruled out and is being played out over and over again. The difference this time being is that you have a regime which is ostensibly Islamic and calls itself a moral regime, and yet doesn't think twice about shooting its own population in cold blood.
All right, so then answer this question for me, sir. Can a protest movement without a central leadership realistically force change in a country like Iran?
That is to be seen, because in the last 12 days, what I have not perceived is the quantum of repressive force that the regime can bring to play, and which it has done so in the past. 2009, 2017, 2022, and going back all the way actually to 1999. It has the full force of measure that it could bring to play, but it has not done so yet. If that were to kick in with a full-fledged sledgehammer approach, because currently Iran is on a yellow alert, if it were to go to red alert, the IRGC Revolutionary Guards infantry battalions would be out, and things would then go into a full live Tiananmen Square protests with mass shootings in cold blood. We have seen shootings in cold blood. We've seen security forces enter hospital wards, dragging out wounded protesters who are being medically attended to, which was done last Sunday. And the president has asked them not to do so, the forces in question.
All right.
But that shows that there is a dichotomy within the higher-ups as to what to be done next.
All right, I have two quick questions for you. I'm running out of time, but I would love and appreciate for you to answer both. My question to you is, the state's response has been heavy-handed. Is that a sign of confidence, would you say, or growing vulnerability given the protests that we're seeing on the streets of Tehran and other parts of the country?
Well, how many people can you kill is the question. Which is precisely, again, Vedika, which happened in 78, 79, when the Shah was, I'm not going to stand in a pool of blood of my own people. Now, the question is, this time again, because it's an Islamic government, it claims moral legitimacy to rule, and that is completely in tatters. And Khamenei's legitimacy and that of the clerics around him. On what basis do you rule? What is the social contract? That has been completely broken with the people over 47 years, and I cannot see them putting that back again.
All right, before I let you go, Verzeen, is Iran then closer today to meaningful change than it was a few years ago? Or is the system then still firmly holding the line?
The system is holding the line. Yes, I can say that because it is a strong state. It is not a failing state. You could put it arguably, it's maybe a failing state which refuses to fail, is the best way I can put it currently. But it is a strong state. It has not enforced with full measure and brutality what it has at its disposal to do so. It can do so at a moment's notice and can shut these protests down if it were to come to it. There's nothing to stop them from doing so, but it's just that the sheer dysfunctionality of the regime and the confusion at the high and Khamenei's indecisiveness that is compounding the situation.
All right, that was Verzeen Wagner from the Center for Iranian Studies at SOAS University of London, helping us unpack whether Iran's latest protests mark a genuine turning point, or is this just a flash in the pan? Verzeen, thanks for joining me here on Breaking Ground. All right, we have another international story that we want to focus on now. It's not just Iran that has been a top headline through the week, but it's also Russia. Russia is blasting the United States after the US military seized a Russian-flagged oil tanker in the North Atlantic. Moscow calls the move illegal and dangerous, warning it could sharply escalate already strained relations with Washington. The tanker, originally linked to Venezuelan oil shipments, was seized for violating US sanctions. Russia says the ship was legally flagged, peacefully sailing and protected under international maritime law. The Kremlin claims the US used force without consent, detained a civilian crew and risked environmental disaster at sea. Russian officials accuse Washington of neo-colonial ambition and say unilateral sanctions do not justify seizing ships on the high seas. Military bloggers inside Russia are furious, criticizing the Kremlin for failing to respond forcefully or protect its shadow fleet. On the other hand, US officials claim the seizure was lawful and tied to sanctions enforcement. The White House has declined further comment as tensions once again rise between the two nuclear powers. And on that note, we're going to be slipping to a short break. News and updates will continue here on Breaking Ground. Stay tuned.
The nerve center of the maximum city, the BMC, a contest that will shape Mumbai's next decade, its identity, its legacy, its future. NDTV brings you the battle for Mumbai, asking who will hold the keys to India's richest civic body and what would it mean for Mumbaikars. BMC Power Play, only on the NDTV network.
from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Raut, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets on Live Your City by Fever.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Delhi set the fairway on fire. The precision, the edge, the contest, the electric energy. Now, the NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am travels to Hyderabad, a day crafted for an unmatched experience. NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am, the course of champions, the conversation of leaders. 10th January 2026, Boulders Hills Golf and Country Club. The front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live, unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. In Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Master Stroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Master Stroke Art Awards, an odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
Honoring the masters who define our creative landscape. Coming soon on the NDTV network. Every winter, the World Economic Forum at Davos becomes the world's thinking room, where power, policy and purpose converge, where the future is examined and reimagined. In January 2026, NDTV will be at the heart of this conversation. NDTV Ignite at Davos, this January on the NDTV network.
Pulling us into this country. They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.
Breaking news coming in, the JDU has sought a Bharat Ratna for Nitish Kumar. JDU leader KC Tyagi has made this demand. He said he wrote to the Prime Minister Narendra Modi last year. Listen in.
जेडीयू के वरिष्ठ नेता केसी त्यागी ने प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी को एक चिट्ठी लिखी है। क्यों ये चिट्ठी लिखा है? त्यागी जी, आपने ये क्यों चिट्ठी लिखा, उनको क्या कहा है इस चिट्ठी में?
नहीं, पिछले साल इसी महीने में हमारे दो जो शीर्षस्थ नायक थे, चौधरी चरण सिंह जी और कर्पूरी ठाकुर जी, उनको प्रधानमंत्री श्री नरेंद्र मोदी ने भारत रत्न से नवाजा था। चौधरी चरण सिंह को गांव के गरीब किसानों के उत्थान के लिए किए गए कार्यों के लिए और सामाजिक न्याय की प्रक्रिया को तीव्र करने के लिए कर्पूरी ठाकुर जी को 22 जनवरी को उन्हें नवाजा गया था। श्री नीतीश कुमार जी एनडीए के संस्थापकों में से हैं। समूचा उनका जीवन बिहार के विकास के लिए और गरीब जनों के लिए और चरण सिंह और कर्पूरी ठाकुर की प्रक्रिया को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए लगा रहा। मैंने प्रधानमंत्री को लिखे पत्र में उन्हें भारत रत्न से नवाजे जाने की जोरदार सिफारिश की है और प्रधानमंत्री का धन्यवाद किया है कि जैसे हमारे दो पुरखों को उन्होंने पहले नवाजा है, उसी तरह श्री नीतीश कुमार जी इस पद के, इस सम्मान के हकदार।
Cricket news now. A major injury scare for Team India just weeks ahead of a crucial run-up to the T20 World Cup. India's middle order mainstay Tilak Verma is set to miss the upcoming 5-match T20 series against New Zealand and is now in doubt even for the 2025 ICC Men's T20 World Cup after undergoing a surgery.
Tilak Verma owning the stage against Pakistan by knocking off a 69 under pressure in the Asia Cup final. Since then, he has made himself a crucial cog in India's T20 wheel. But a sudden abdomen surgery has put Tilak Verma out of the T20 series versus New Zealand and could miss the World Cup as well. The stylish left-hander has been a cornerstone of India's middle order, combining calm under pressure with explosive shot-making. Since making his T20 international debut against the West Indies in 2023 August, Tilak has been nothing short of sensational. 40 T20 internationals, 1,183 runs, an average touching 50 and a strike rate of over 144. 200 650s and a reputation as India's most dependable middle-order option. The upcoming 5-match T20 series against New Zealand starting 21st of January was meant to fine-tune combinations. Instead, it now becomes a test of depth. India is likely to test out Riyan Parag. It could also open up a spot for Yashasvi Jaiswal, Ruturaj Gaikwad, and even an opportunity for captain Suryakumar Yadav to go up the order. But India is unlikely to go back to Shubman Gill, who captains in the Test and ODI formats. Whether Tilak Verma will be a part of team's World Cup journey remains uncertain. For now, India waits, hoping one of their brightest T20 stars can beat time, just like he has beaten bowlers. In New Delhi, Rika Roy for NDTV.
Before we wrap up this bulletin, we have more breaking news for you. This has to do with the raids that took place in Kolkata inside Pratik Jain's office and residence. We get to the inside track of the raids. NDTV has access exclusive details. There is a Goa connection, Goa election connection that has emerged. We believe money was transferred for Goa polls, which is now under the scanner. The money transferred by IPAC to an event management company is the claim being made by the Enforcement Directorate. Big exclusive here on NDTV. NDTV has accessed details of reason for raids on the IPAC co-founder. There is a Goa elections connection that's come up in the investigations. We believe money was transferred by IPAC to an event management company for utilizing in the Goa elections. The Enforcement Directorate's investigations have revealed that POC generated through the coal scam were utilized by IPAC in Goa. The money that was transferred was through both domestic and international Hawala routes. One such Hawala operator used by Coal Syndicate to transfer POC has been identified from WhatsApp chats, is what we now know. The intelligence has revealed that 20 crores of POC was transferred through a Hawala firm from Kolkata to Goa. And Anushka is joining us live for more details. Anushka, can you just break down all that you know on this? This is an exclusive news break here on NDTV, a Goa election connection to the ED raids.
That's right, Divya. Now NDTV has accessed all the details of that led to the raids that happened at the IPAC on yesterday, when we saw a lot of politics also erupting in all of this matter. We have seen that in this whole case, the Hawala links have established to Goa now, to Goa elections. The proceeds of crime that was used by, in fact, taking the proceeds of crime from the Hawala channels was in fact routed to Goa, where, this whole money was transferred from an institute called R. Kanti Lal for the Goa election, and all of this has in fact taken place. The money transferred by the IPAC was to an event, management team, and we're also seeing that, this whole ED detail was in fact, based on this whole input where they had scanned a lot of Hawala channels. The Goa election connection has in fact emerged from this whole case. We have seen that a firm called R. Kantilal had transferred money from Kolkata to Goa, which was in fact sourced by the ED. The money transferred by IPAC to event MGM and management firm that was in fact, routed by the ED, and that led to this whole raid that happened yesterday at the IPAC offices, not just IPAC office, but also at the residence of, the director of IPAC, where we saw dramatic politics unfolding there. We have seen that the ED has in fact filed a petition in the High Court stating that it was in fact blatant.
All right, Anushka, we'll come back to you in a couple of minutes because we're now going to shift focus to down south. It's a wrap on Breaking Ground. But up next is a Southern Connect with my colleagues who will break down all the top stories from South India for you in moments from now. Stay tuned to NDTV 24/7 and thanks for watching. What seems settled for me is unfinished business. So I rewind, I pause, I reflect, I dig until what's buried stands up to be counted. Breaking ground, not just headlines, the meaning behind them. This is Breaking Ground with me, Vedika Sood.
Across the country.
He has tracked the pulse of power from Washington to Korea. Witnessed history being made in global capitals and conflict zones. Brought clarity to complex issues of national security and international affairs. Aditya Raj Kaul, covering international affairs like no one else. Only on NDTV network.
Alright team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
The nerve center of the maximum city, the BMC, a contest that will shape Mumbai's next decade, its identity, its legacy, its future. NDTV brings you the battle for Mumbai, asking who will hold the keys to India's richest civic body and what would it mean for Mumbaikars. BMC Power Play, only on the NDTV network.
from the heart of the newsroom to the core of the stories shaping your world. Join me, Gargi Rawat, as I track all the developments as they break. Live from the NDTV newsroom, weekdays at 4 p.m.
Mumbai are bringing our first India tour in your city. Rag on with Shankar Ehsaan Loy and Siddharth Mahadevan and Shivam Mahadevan. 5 times melody, 5 times masti with NDTV Good Times. Go grab your tickets on Live Your City by Fever.
I don't sugarcoat. I shoot straight and tell you stories the way they need to be told. Unfiltered, unafraid, unmissable. That's how I roll. Watch me, Priyanka Deo, on NDTV World. Namaste.
Delhi set the fairway on fire. The precision, the edge, the contest, the electric energy. Now, the NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am travels to Hyderabad, a day crafted for an unmatched experience. NDTV PGTI Golf Pro-Am, the course of champions, the conversation of
Hello and a warm welcome to the Southern View. I'm Sam Daniel from Chennai. Over the next 20 minutes, all my colleagues from across South India will bring you up to speed with news developments in this part of the country. I'll be joined by my colleague Vijay from Chennai, Ritu from Bengaluru, Ashish from Hyderabad and Ashwin from Thiruvananthapuram. There's a big breaking news. The Madras High Court has directed the Central Board of Film Certification to give its clearance for actor Vijay's Jananayagan. For all of that, let's go over to my colleague Vijay. Vijay?
Thank you, Sam. It's a very great and happy news for actor turned politician Vijay and Vijay fans, of course. Just now Madras High Court pronounced order saying that they are allowed, they are asked to send CBFC to issue certificate U/A 16 plus to the movies and to the movie Jananayagan, which is actually scheduled to release today, but unfortunately there was a legal hurdle for the Jananayagan movie. I will just brief you what exactly happened. Actually, the movie crew, the KVN production applied for the CBFC certificate for the movie Jananayagan, but the revision committee watched the movie and they were ready to issue U/A for the movie, but unfortunately in between there was a complaint, objection raised by one of the member who actually watched the movie. Immediately the chairperson of the CBFC gave a communication to the production house saying that he is referring the movie to the referring committee, revisive committee. So this made KVN, this forced the production house to file a writ petition before the Madras High Court, and there was a huge argument between both the sides. On behalf of CBFC, there was an additional Solicitor General put forward an argument saying that the chairperson has the whole rights to go against the movie, he has the rights to decide. But however, today PT Asha of the Madras High Court pronounced order saying that the CBFC should issue a certificate for the movie. This is just a happy news for the Vijay fans across the world. But however, we have to wait because CBFC immediately after the order made a mention before the CJ bench of the Madras High Court. So it is likely to be heard by this afternoon or on Monday. So it's not clear, it's not fully over yet, but as of now, it's a good news for Vijay fans. Let's listen to the reaction over the story.
We are not taking sides on any movie, but let me make it very clear. Now the cat is out of the wall. Even yesterday when I spoke to several channels, I said, if today's order is favourable to Jananayagan, and if the board will go and challenge the verdict, then it clearly means that the BJP does not want the movie to be released, and they want to use it as a blackmail in order to make it join alliance with ADMK and BJP. For BJP and ADMK, it is very profoundly clear that their vote share is not going to be more than 20%. If the same combined will face the election, their number of seats they would have will be in single digits, and DMK will get more than 200 MLAs. In order to change in order to, for example, save face, they think if the TVK will come, maybe their vote share can be 25%, 26%. Even then, the DMK vote share will be more than 50%, but at least they can save the face, which is why I think they are desperate to have TVK in their alliance. That is why they're trying all forms of possibilities.
It's a cooked up issue. The censor board has no business to do it in the last minute. And makers. We know there's a rule of law that we do submit our films to censor board much before. If somebody is releasing the film on 9th and if we submit the film on 8th, I understand. You wait till the last minute. So what is behind the idea behind? What is the agenda behind this? So when you're not a supreme body, when you we also need some time to talk back to you, But you don't give any space. And the court has slammed the right word, There's an intentions are different. The court has found out the intentions are different, isn't it?
Yes.
So I think it is time that we as a film fraternity or art people hold the censor board accountable to do their job properly. We are fragile. There's time invested, dreams, hopes on the release of the film, and money invested. Okay? Now, Central Board of Certification is a rule of law in this country that though we have a freedom of expression, there is a limit to our freedom of expression. In the interest of the society, the Censor Board looks into the film. So we are supposed to submit a month before. We do it. We are waiting for the cuts. You take the last minute and you just on whims and fancies will postpone the release. What is this? It is high time Central Board of Certification does its job properly. They have been slapped by the asking them to do their job. But that means the people behind the intention to stop Jananayagan are trying desperately something else.
When Jananayagan faces legal hurdles on the other side, Parasakthi, which is set to be the political movie for DMK ahead of 2026 election, is cleared the certificate. It is ready. It is going to hit the screen across Tamil Nadu and even other states from tomorrow. They got the UBA certificate from the CBFC. Even Parasakthi didn't cross this very easily. They faced the issue from the CBFC board. First, they were played the movie, and then they asked for a few cuts over in the agitation movie. How from the trailer we able to get from what Parasakthi movie is about. It is a epic drama which goes around to 1960 to 1970 when the Dravidian movement in Tamil Nadu rose in Tamil Nadu, because after the Congress government, the state party in Tamil Nadu, that is a Dravidian movement, DMK, was founded, and it was there was a massive fight in protest against the Hindi agitation. There was a fight against Hindi imposition. The movie actually spoke about those things. So finally, the Parasakthi movie had cleared the certificate, and it is going to hit the screen tomorrow. And very interestingly, we know Parasakthi music director's 100th movie, and Sivakarthikeyan 25th movie. We have an exclusive reaction from GV Prakash. Let's listen to it.
Hi GV, firstly congratulations. Parasakthi is your 100th film and all set to release on January 10th for Pongal. A very big film for you as Sivakarthikeyan. So how excited are you about the release of this film tomorrow now?
I'm very thankful because, we just got the certificate today, and so, we didn't know if it was coming or not, and finally today it got cleared, so I'm very thankful. And more than that, this is a film which is taken for the Tamil language, about the beauty of the language and what, it is for the language. So to have it as my 100th film is something very special for me, and, to do music on a film which is praising Tamil, I'm really proud to be part of it.
Yeah, you've always done some fantastic music, especially melodious ones, and I hope Amaran also wins awards. Is the music of Parasakthi going to pay tribute to Tamil Nadu and Tamil language?
Definitely, Tamil language and how the film is going to praise the language is something, and it's been so many decades since a film comes praising about the language and especially Tamil. So this is something once in a lifetime kind of a film, and it is happens to be my 100th. So I'm very thankful to Sudha for offering this film to me.
Okay, so how was your experience working with Sudha and Sivakarthikeyan on this film?
See, it's mostly the director. So Shiva was supporting a lot, but it's basically the director, because Surari Porter was one of my best ever combinations, and immediately we're doing something after that. So it's something very special, and we share a bond, and we are friends for a long time, we are friends for some 18, 19 years. So, and there is a good rapport and chemistry. So it's come out well. The film and the music has come out well.
Okay, so where are you watching the movie tomorrow? First day, first show, or how is it going to be?
Usually I don't watch the first shows. I wait for some time, and then after 2 days I'll go and watch it.
Okay, great. Thank you so
Maybe
much.
I'll watch it on Pongal Day.
Oh, superb. Thank you so much for speaking to NDTV. Wishing you the very best, GV.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Now, Parasakthi was Jananayagan is more than a cinema, it has become politics, but we have to wait and see whether it is going to be really a Jananayagan was Parasakthi, because Jananayagan had to face a legal hurdles. Moving on to another political story from Tamil Nadu, it's about EPS, ADMK General Secretary EPS at Delhi, and even very recently this morning BJP State President Nainar Nagendran met EPS in his residence. To speak more on this, we have my colleague Sam Daniel. Sam Daniel, over to you.
Thank you, Vijay. That's right. The election momentum has set in Tamil Nadu, and this morning we had Tamil Nadu BJP Chief Nainar Nagendran meeting AIADMK Chief Edappadi Palaniswamy at his home. This days after Home Minister Amit Shah's 2-day visit to Tamil Nadu, and a day after EPS met him in Delhi again. In fact, this comes after PMK's Anbumani Ramadas joined hands with EPS, in a sense returning to the NDA fold, and BJP sources say that talks were about the seat sharing between the AIADMK and the BJP, and also in terms of bringing in more smaller parties into the fold. Sources say the BJP is demanding 40 seats from AIADMK so that it will be able to expand its footprint if everything works well in this Dravidian heartland in the 2026 assembly election. So far, it has only 4 seats, and at the moment, the NDA is not that strong. For instance, the AIADMK is still a divided house with expelled leaders like Sasikala and O. Pannirselvam, besides TTV Dinakaran, not welcome into the party's fold. And the PMK, although the Anbumani's faction has joined the NDA, there is an internal tussle between Anbumani and his father, Dr. Ramadas. It's not clear how this tussle will end. Will they patch up or will they fight against each other? Actor Vijay Gant's DMDK too has not made up its mind with who they would shake hands with. This evening there's a big rally, a large rally in Kadalur district where many expect the party chief Premalada Vijay Gant to actually announce who they would ally with. It's in this context the meeting becomes important, and there is also speculation that Prime Minister Modi may be visiting Tamil Nadu, and before that they want to try all these loose ends so that possibly they'll be able to showcase a united, larger NDA at a public meeting whenever he comes. Another breaking story, TVK Chief Actor Vijay today announced a 12-member committee to draft his party's manifesto ahead of the 2026 assembly elections. A few spokespersons including Arun Raj, JCD Prabhakar, Raj Mohan, Thenmoli Prasanna, among others are in the team, and Vijay says the committee would possibly travel across the state to get inputs from the public and a cross-section of people in Tamil Nadu, including various bodies that represent trade, health and other industries as well. He calls the party's manifesto would be focusing on what he calls the developmental aspect of Tamil Nadu. Although TVK has announced that it will shared power with any party who would join hands with them. So far, there's no major allies have come into their fold, and at the moment the party has made it very clear that it will not ally with the BJP directly or indirectly, calling it his ideological enemy and the ruling DMK his political enemy. It's in this context today's announcement becomes very, very important, and we'll have to wait and see in the context of the ongoing crisis with the release of his film Jananayagan, how there would be a political churn. More news from Tamil Nadu. The Tamil Nadu Congress chief Selva Pirandagai in a statement has appealed to his party cadre to not discuss alliance issues in the public. This comes particularly after embarrassing statements and stands by many leaders, including MPs like Manikam Tagore, that they would want share in the power and more seats by the ruling DMK in Tamil Nadu. Although the party's leadership has confirmed that the alliance with the ruling DMK is intact, these remarks by other leaders have come as a huge embarrassment, and the party state chief Selva Pirandagai is trying to douse this. That's all from Tamil Nadu. Now it's over to my colleague Ritu from Bengaluru for all news from Karnataka. Ritu.
Thank you, Sam. Here in Karnataka, the top news remains to be on that amid the Hindi imposition row. This time there's a Kerala versus Karnataka row that has erupted. Now this is over the mandatory Malayalam language for the students from class 1 to class 10. Now that's the kind of a bill that the Kerala government has basically proposed, and there's a strong objection that it has drawn from the state of Karnataka, with the Karnataka government and of course the opposition also questioning Kerala that the timing is in question over here, and there's a lot of the opposition in the state is also lashing out at the Karnataka government, saying that this is somewhere a double standard that the Congress-led government is maintaining when we talk about the Kerala, because we saw what really panned out when we talk about the Kogilu demolition drive, where that the government was all in action to swing into what was being said to them by Lotta, the Kerala CM Pinarayi Vijay, basically tweeted. But this time this is over the language. However, it has drawn a sharp objection from Congress, BJP, also from the JDS. Here are the series of reactions coming in on this story. Just listen in.
See, in India, this language issue is not today. It is always there. Bordering states having language issues, it happens between Kerala and Karnataka, between Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, between Maharashtra and Karnataka. All these things, there are provisions in the constitutions, and within the framework of that constitutional, provisions, these decisions have to be made, and I am sure that everybody is conscious about it.
We are giving priority to the linguistic language also. Only that reason we have given exemption to Kasaragod and other districts also, in Idiki and some places in other areas. Okay. Especially Tamil-speaking areas are here. So we are giving priority to them.
The left-based Pinarayi Vijayan has made Malayalam compulsory in the entire Kerala state, including the Kasaragod area where the Kannada is the mother tongue of so many people. It is completely unfair on Kannadigas who are living in the border areas as well, in specific the Kasaragod district. Karnataka Border Development Board has clearly objected to it. Now, why is Karnataka government, including the chief minister, including the education ministers like Madhu Bangarappa and MC Sudhakar, are keeping quiet on this? What is the DCM doing on this? What is the Kannada and Cultural Minister Shivraj Tangadgi doing on this?
Well, this of course has become a flashpoint because the school students in the border area of Karnataka, basically Kasargodu, will have to learn Malayalam as the first language is what has been seen. However, needs to be seen how the Kerala government is really going to take this up. For that, I have my colleague Ashwin joining us from Kerala. Ashwin, the major question at this point in time being raised that with the elections approaching in Kerala, is this a pure political stunt that one can see? Because more than 70% of the population in the Kasargodu is a Kannada-speaking population. Over to you if you could throw more light on it.
Absolutely, Ritu. It's in fact a very interesting debate whether it is Kannada Beku versus Malayalam Venam. Now, the fight is that in Kasaragod district, which is bordering Karnataka, there's a demand that has been kept. In fact, when the Kerala governor had visited Kasaragod, a representation from KBADA, Kerala Border Development Association, KBADA, had sent a memorandum and in fact demanded that the schools which are there in Kasaragod district, this punitive action of imposing Malayalam onto the students is absolutely unfair. In fact, this particular committee had even demanded that the Kerala governor should not, Rajnath Arlekar should not pass this particular bill which has been introduced in the Legislative Assembly in Kerala. At this juncture, the governor in fact has stated that he will look into this bill and see whether anything affects the linguistic minorities in the district of Kasaragod. When this question was posed, in fact, to the Congress MP himself, K. Muralidharan, very surprisingly, Ritu, in fact, he has said that Kerala will not do any kind of imposition and it respects the linguistic minorities in the state of Kerala, whether it is the Kasaragod, the linguistic minority, which is primarily Kannadigas, and also in Idukki districts and even in parts of the Thiruvananthapuram district where there is a fair amount of Tamil-speaking diaspora also. So certainly this issue right now is with the governor, whether he will sign it. At this time, the Chief Minister's stance is now being seen
Well,
as...
needs to be seen how this is really going to take up in the future with multiple questions being raised by the Karnataka government as well. Because the Karnataka government remains to be adamant saying that if the bill is passed, then they will take all their means out to ensure that this is not happening to the people in the Kasaragod region. That's all from the state of Karnataka and Kerala. Now over to my colleague Ashish, who brings us more news. Ashish, over to you.
Thank you, Ritu. While we are witnessing, and in fact, we are reporting about the uncertainty of Talapati Vijay's movie's release in Tamil Nadu, Jananayakan. It's facing legal hurdle. Earlier, Central Board of Film Certification, they restricted the release. Now the matter is sub judice. And it's still uncertain that whether Jananayakan will hit theatre. But here in Telugu state of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, at least fans of darling star Prabhas, they have reason to celebrate, and they are celebrating in fact. And they are celebrating massively. Prabhas starrer movie, The Raja Babu, is out in theatres. Its premiere shows were screened yesterday across Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, and in Hyderabad in particular, Prabhas fans gathered in large number to participate in the ritual, I can call it, ritual celebration at Sandhya Theatre in Hyderabad. It's a very prominent single screen theatre, and a lot many movies, Telugu movies, which get released, they do their premiere show here. And here also, again, these visuals clearly shows that Prabhas fans gathered in large number to celebrate Darling Star's movie release, which is The Raja Babu. But interestingly, as the visual, which is on air now, you can witness these visuals. A lot of fans come out with a dummy crocodile crocs in their hand. It's a small size, or whether it's a real size crocs. They've been seen walking inside the theatre, celebrating the premiere or the release or pre-release event of the movie Raja Babu. Why they came out with these crocs? Definitely, there's a popular scene of this particular movie, which is part of its trailer also, where lead character Prabhas fights with the crocodile, and that is being appreciated by fans of Prabhas. And to appreciate their hero, Darling Star, which is popularly called as Prabhas in Telangana and Pradesh, called as Darling Star, they come and they reach to the theatre with crop of crocodiles. That's it for today. More news and update after this break.
front lines of Kargil. The fury of Operation Sindhu.
So many attacks.
The chaos and cries of disaster zones. To fighter jet cockpits. And the world's most defining interviews.
It's incredible.
He has seen history break. Live. Unfiltered. 20,000 hours of live broadcasting.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre.
Hard facts.
War-struck country.
Hard questions.
In the Ukraine.
30 years of trust.
In the Kargil area. North Ukraine. In France. In Italy. At Srinagar. In Vishnu Shom for NDTV.
Vishnu Shom. Only on NDTV.
A very special moment for us as we announce NDTV Masterstroke, the NDTV Art Awards.
NDTV presents the Masterstroke Art Awards, an odyssey of creative brilliance where the masterpiece meets its ultimate recognition.
NDTV bringing this subject forward would have a great integrity of putting it forward where people could understand the importance of art.
This award that is being started, I'm sure is going to be amazing.
Art for India and for Indians is an expression of our Atmanirbharta.
It's actually quite a formidable jury, so I think we'll reveal a lot more as we go along.
This is an amazing platform, I think, today what you're doing.
Honoring the masters who define our creative landscape. Coming soon on the NDTV network. Every winter, the World Economic Forum at Davos becomes the world's thinking room, where power, policy and purpose converge, where the future is examined and reimagined. In January 2026, NDTV will be at the heart of this conversation. NDTV Ignite at Davos, this January on the NDTV network.
Pulling us into this country.
They argue, I conclude. They deflect, I drill down. This isn't a free-for-all. It's a reckoning. No filler, no fog. Only the facts and where they lead. Every night at 9, the case closes because the buck stops here.